Hey guys, it's Kelsey. I'm back with layout 6 for How to Kill a Kit with Style, January 2019. I am also doing paper issues. You've got the motion challenge. We are just supposed to scrapbook something that's always in motion, and since I am scrapbooking a picture of a horse, I figured that would go pretty well. This is Duke. It's one of my friend's horses. I don't have any horses, but I grew up riding horses, so I go through horse withdrawal occasionally, and thankfully she lets me ride her horses whenever I do. So this is just a picture of Duke, which is actually her husband's horse. But I'm just starting out same way as usual. I'm laying out everything I have to work with so I can start looking at what I want to pull in. I decide I want to kind of do another monochromatic one, pulling on all of the pinks. So that's what I'm starting with. I knew I wanted to incorporate this big chunk of that scallop. So I'm going to have that coming off the top of the page, and then I'll fussy cut the bottom scallop in a minute. But for right now, I'm just going to mat the photo in that pink diagonal. So I'm just getting that together. There we go. I really like the way that ombre border strip, the branding strip, looked on the side over there. So I'm going to go ahead and commit to that being over there. And then I try to cut this scallop the way I did before, where I thought it was easier. And for whatever reason it wasn't working. So I'm cutting it the normal way, and I don't know. Maybe it's not easier the way I thought it was. But I'm just going to get that cut, and then I know right away I think I'm going to just have it hang off the top of the page. So that's where I'm starting. I kind of get stuck around the photo, so I start working on my title area. I knew I wanted stuff in that bottom left-hand corner coming off of that branding strip. So I'm layering up a few labels. I'm going to write the date on that little maroon one. I really tried to use that maroon one up on the last page, and because I ended up pulling in more blue rather than pink near the end, that one ended up not making it. But I got it used up here with the date. I'm also using that last die cut word, season, as part of my title. I'm just going to call this hashtag trail season. So I'm also pulling in those chipboard Reagan hearts I used on my first layout. I was trying not to use them so that I could encourage myself to use the epoxy hearts that come in this kit. But with the colored epoxy hearts that were left, I figured I would get them used up for sure on another page. So I thought these chipboard Reagan hearts looked really, really good with this page instead, so I'd go with that. And then I'm also pulling in that scrap of wood grain again and using my scallop border punch. The big multicolored scallop that's behind the photo has wood grain scallops, so I thought it was really appropriate to bring that wood grain into a few other areas. And I really try to use up these other ephemera pieces, the ones with the rose gold foil. I try a few times, but it doesn't make it on there, as well as those little black and white circular pieces. This is still definitely not the last page. I still have a good bit to work with at the end. It's definitely dwindling, but not enough to where I can't make another page. So I wasn't too worried about not getting the rest of them on this one. I did decide to use that pocket card and stretch it across the back of the photo. It just says, be good to yourself. I really wanted to use that on this page because it went really well with that branding strip that's on the left side. And then again, I'm just layering up a glassine bag and a doily. I am really, really loving how that looks with this Felicity Jane kit. I'm trying again with those rolled gold and circular pieces. But then I decide, I'm just going to go with these chipboard hearts. I like how that looks better. I will worry about those ephemera pieces on another page. I have a bunch of little scraps from things I've gutted or shaved off or whichever, so I decided I would try and tuck a few banners in. So I stretched that little scrap across the back of that photo as well. And now I'm still gutting. So I am just marking where my corners end on the back of that scallop, and I'm going to still gut everything that's hidden behind the photo layers. There we go. And I'm pretty happy with that, so I'm going to go ahead and commit and stick all of this down. we go. And then I decided I wanted to bring that wood grain scallop into another area, so I'm going to run it along the right side of that photo. I'm really happy I gutted this wood grain from that very first page where it was the background, because I'm really finding I'm able to tuck it into a few areas on other pages that I wouldn't have otherwise if I didn't gut it from that first layout I did. And then I am going to stamp a little bit. I'm still being a little wimpy. I stamped with black ink on the white cardstock, but I decided I would just do those little dots so that it wasn't too much. I didn't risk messing it up too horribly if it didn't work out. But still, I stamped, and I'm happy about that. I'm getting a little bit braver. And then I just used those epoxy alphabets to put Duke over the top of that photo. But you'll see in these end pictures I did move it down. It was just kind of hard to read on that scallop. But I like how this one turned out. I ended up doing a little twine bow since I'm out of all the tool bows that came in the kit. But I really like how this one turned out. So thanks guys for watching. Bye.